Alright, time now is 8:06 a.m. on June 12th. Wow, my hair's a mess even though I literally just washed my hair. Goddamn. Yeah, I only slept for about 4 hours, I believe. I went to bed at 3:30, but I didn't immediately fall asleep at all. I just didn't immediately fall asleep at all. I don't know why. I think I stayed awake for about 20 minutes and then I finally fell asleep. And then at 7:55 I woke up. So, yeah, hopefully I'm not sleepy enough to fall asleep during sermon today. That's a goal. It's a huge goal. I must stay awake during sermon today. That has to happen. Yeah, today's gonna be an extremely interesting day. Because I'm gonna have to adventure at go to the church, and then after lunch with the folk, I need to directly go to Pasadena, and I'll be early. I'll be an early bird, so I'll just wander around. And then Pepper's gonna join me, which is insane, and then I'm gonna have dinner with HKOS, which is insane, and I'm gonna meet John L, which is the nickname I'm gonna give the guy who I met at USC, and he knows a lot about films. He went to Cannes Film Festival. I'm gonna ask him questions. It's all fun, and today's just gonna be a very film enriched day.
Welcome.
Seeing people at their worst and at their best.
睇到唔同嘅病人，有啲係個好慘嘅狀況，有啲係一個好轉嘅狀況。
The wealthy to the homeless.
坐爆晒，我估應該其實都應該坐到。
我哋應該揾一日試下佢新貨。我有試過。還好啦，幾時你個新居點啊？
我仲未 unpack 啲嘢，因為啲。
Alright, time now is 2:56 p.m. A couple of things. I just finished church, just finished lunch. I feel bad, man. I don't feel so good. I kind of want to vomit. The weather is way hotter than I had expected, and also apparently, even though the address I was given is Pasadena, says Pasadena, the actual address is South Pasadena, which is 100 times more boring than Pasadena. So I originally planned to do a video, Adventures in Pasadena, but guess not. So due to the extreme heat, I'm just gonna go find myself a Starbucks and just sit and wait for 2 hours straight. So yeah, I'm at South Pasadena. Woohoo. There we go, Starbucks. Wow, explosions. America moment. The price of freedom is high. It has always been, and it's a price I'm willing with an H to pay. And if I am the only one, then so be it. I don't think he said that. All right. Bro, why the fuck is it so hot? Alright, time now is 4:23. I spent a quick 80 minutes in this Starbucks, which went by really quick. Listened to music, wrote a poem, that's it. I'm walking there now. Woohoo! This is gonna be the adventure in question. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Actually, it feels quite nice now. Like a couple hours ago, it's hot as hell, and now maybe it's because I'm under a shadow. Fuck, I'm burning. Oh, I'm fine again. Fuck, I'm burning. Yep, that's definitely a shadow thing. Ooh, a theater. What the heck is this? I don't think this is a movie theater. Or maybe this was a movie theater, but now it's just dead. It's a dead theater. I don't know what I'm supposed to say now. Just enjoy the view. South Pasadena, huh? Pretty empty place. Just like many other places in USA, especially in the West Coast. It's just, even though this is supposed to be a city, it doesn't feel like a city to me. It just feels really run down. This is like, if the roads are narrower and the sky is cloudier and the trees look worse, this could pass off as a new territories Hong Kong. Just very run down, shitty, middle of nowhere type of place. Not even middle of nowhere. Okay, this is it. Just in front of some random house. It's 4:35. I'm early by 25 minutes. Feels good to be an early bird, you know? You just seem very fucking cool. But yeah, like I said, you know, if there are only around 40 something Hong Kongers in all of US who study film, if there are only about like 15, 16 Hong Kongers in LA studying film right now, and Santa Monica and Long Beach and East Side included, like, today's gathering that's gonna happen 25 minutes later is going to probably put me in the forefront of it all, hopefully, or at least closer. So that's exciting. Pepper said she's on her way. Yes. History. This is history. Yes. Where the fuck am I?
Joey.
All right, so time now is 11:35 p.m. on June 12th. Holy fuck, what a crazy ass day. What a crazy ass day, man. Holy crap. So I'm gonna try my best to speak as fast as possible because there's a lot to take in. I then went to South Pasadena. Because the other teacher, not the one in the morning, the other one, the fatter, the cardiologist person, he drove me to South Pasadena. And I said Pasadena because I was given the address. The address was Pasadena, but actually it's South Pasadena. But anyways, arrived at South Pasadena, sat at a Starbucks, and just for over an hour, like an hour and a half straight, I just listened to music, and nobody like told me to leave or anything. I'm so happy because in Hong Kong you can do that. In Hong Kong you can find a Starbucks, find a McDonald's, sit. You don't have to order anything. You can just sit there and enjoy the air conditioner. Yay! And apparently you can do this here as well. And then at one point, at around 4:30-ish, I'm like, okay, let's walk to that address. So I walked there, and I'm the earliest person. And I stood there for about 5 minutes, and then I see a girl in the distance. A girl with white shirt, and I can't even see her face, but immediately, her proportions, her hair, the way she holds up her phone, it's Pepper. So it's just me and Pepper waiting outside the house for like 5 minutes after that. And it was kind of funny because it was almost like we're scammed. I've only met John L. for like 5 minutes after the Lanyu screening last month in May. And now we are told to go to this random ass house in this random ass street in South Pasadena where nothing happens. So it's really weird. Like, what if we're scammed? And then suddenly some guy driving a big car with a hat on, with glasses, with a mustache. No mustache, just beard. Drove by and he's like, oh, 1 second. And then he came out of the house and he's like, oh, so you guys are here for the HKOS, right? And I'm John L's friend. And she's my friend, she's Pepper. So we're gonna join this gathering. And he's like, oh, okay, come on in. So we went in, there's a dog there, and we played with the dog a little while, and it was really nice. And at that point, I'm like, oh my god, this is happening, right? This is actually happening. Like, we went in, I didn't expect a single thing. This is like, you know how crazy Natalie is when she decided to meet a bunch of people she never even met in like Mongkok in an arcade because her friend also knows some other friends who play bridge, but like her friend didn't show up, so she's going alone. That's crazy. What I'm doing is even fucking crazier. I'm in Los Angeles, right? A place I've never lived in. Some guy I just met, not even a friend of mine, not a close friend. Some guy I met in USC. Some random dude I met, John L. He texted me on Instagram, told me to go to this random ass address, and I bring Pepper there, which is like, anything could go wrong, you know? I'm the crazy one now. But we went in and it was a nice, normal, regular looking house. We sat down at the sofa and he put the drinks out and he's like, oh, you don't have to be polite. Come on, take the drinks. And we play with the dog and Pepper's got her film camera. Alright, a while later, John L. finally came, and this is the first time I've seen him unmasked. And this is also the second time I've ever seen him in my life. So, it's just really weird, and it's just us three, and then a little bit later, 10 minutes later, another girl came in, a girl who's also about our age, maybe 3 to 4 years older than us, older than me and Pepper, by us I mean. Probably around the same age as John L. Actually a little younger. The girl who came in, I'm gonna call her the theater girl. The theater girl is just graduated USC School of Dramatic Arts, theater lighting department. And then it's just us four for a while. We sat around a table, and according to John L, probably a bunch of old people will show up, and by old, he probably means like middle age, maybe 30-something, 40-something year olds. It's going to be a very mature gathering. Actually, he's wrong as hell. We're all young blood. I feel like X-Men. Okay, anyways, the girl came and we sat around a table, and the guy, the host of this gathering put food on the table, all sorts of curry balls, falafels, I think they are. I don't even know. They're like these things and these chips and like drinks, and he's like, oh, go ahead and eat. A couple men, both of them are Macanese. Both of them are from Macau, and wearing glasses. One with a cap, a little larger, shorter, and the other is a tall, quick, very energetic, Reminds me of Red from my film class, less energetic and introverted, but just as passionate about film. And he used to study at Burbank, and he's part of a network called HKPN, called Hong Kong Professional Networking, which is a whole network of professional people in LA right now. And he's working in a Asia World Film Festival. And the other guy, the shorter guy with a cap on, plays guitar. But Pepper played music on the TV. She opened YouTube and she played Terrence Slam. And if you can recall from my album review, I reviewed his album and I called it boring and I gave it a 5 out of 10. So I'd never really listened further, but people are starting talking about, oh, Terrence Lam, oh, his new song, oh, that actress in his music video, this actress called Liu Ziyu. And I haven't even heard of her before. I mean, maybe I've seen her name somewhere, but I don't know who she is. And you know, people are already discussing, oh, this girl is like this. Maybe she's going to get popular in the future. And then the host of this gathering event was like, oh, she actually worked with me like a while ago, like a couple of years ago or something. So, wow, that's like, you know, damn. And then, at 7, us 6, me, Pepper, John L., the theater girl, and the Macanese duo, and the host walked very closely, a 5-minute walk, to a Chinese restaurant nearby. And we just went in, and someone else showed up. Someone who is tall, buff, looking very confident, smoking an electronic cigarette. And his name is okay, I'm gonna call him an Isegi. So Isegi, because he smokes an electronic cigarette. That's his thing. And he is film major too, I believe, film production. I suspect that John L. is a very introverted person. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch Crimes of the Future tomorrow, and I'll watch Decision to Leave and Broker when I go back to Hong Kong. And he's like, yeah. At first, he doesn't seem that passionate to speak with me. I know he's passionate about film, but he doesn't exactly show it. And he later admits it too, like, I'm actually a little shy, you know. If he's a little shy, I'm even worse. I'm putting up a front, man. I'm doing this to socially network, bro. And then a couple more people came in. Literally a couple, like they're married or something. A woman with long hair, glasses, kind of nerdy, maybe in her late 20s, early 30s. And then a guy who looks like, who just looks like a regular guy. Nice guy, not spiky hair, but, nice guy, short hair, glasses. And I'm like, hold on, I've seen her before. She looks like the woman I met on January 6th earlier this year at the Pico Church. And then they introduced themselves. Oh, I'm this, and I'm that. Okay, so I'm gonna call them the husband and wife. So the wife introduced herself, and when she said that, I'm like, holy shit, it's her! It's her! This is, if God truly exists, this is a calling for me, okay? Like, if I hadn't met Pepper in my film class, if I hadn't decided to watch Lan Yu, if I hadn't spoken to the guy sitting to my left in the screening of Lan Yu, and if I hadn't, seen that wife on January 6th at the Pico Church, or not really the last statement, but this wouldn't have happened, and now it's all connected somehow. It's just insane. Okay, so we had our dinner, and it was a variety of things, but I think the highlight is the soup at the beginning, a watercress carrot soup with ginkgo biloba, and this is the first time in 5.5 months I've tasted Chinese soup, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's just, I hold the bowl, and I'm very socially conscious at this point, because a bunch of very cultured, professional people who really know what they're talking about, and I don't know if I'm, I don't know if I can match up with them. Pepper's here, and even Pepper feels very lowly compared to these people. If Pepper feels very lowly, then what am I? I'm the lowest of the low. So I held my I didn't even hold it. on the table, I have a small bowl of soup, and I gently flicked the spoon, and then I put it into my mouth very gently. Let me recommend you soy sauce chicken. So soy sauce chicken, and then John L's like, I'll say sweet and sour pork, and then the Macanese people are like vegetables, carrot leaves, I think, so on and so forth. And then there's rice, so I had and then there's a deep fried fish fillet, and it's pretty good. And even after that, there's sweet soup at the end. And it's been 5.5 months since I've had sweet soup, and at first it looks like white goop, and I'm like, but then I tasted it and it's really sweet, and I'm like, oh my god, I miss sweet soup, so I just ate the whole thing. Let's give the host a name. The HKOS host. He is not the founder of HKOS, by the way. He's more like co-founder. So the origins of HKOS is actually our host here. Oh man, I really need to give him a name. Hong. Hong. So Hong, he came back to LA like a year ago. Came to LA a year ago or something, I don't know. He went to HKPN, which is Hong Kong Professional Networking, and found a woman by the name of Kathy, who is organizing the screening of Revolution of Our Times in other cities. And he realized, oh man, maybe we should do one for LA. So he and Kathy teamed up with a bunch of other people to organize a very quick, and it's a very quick organization. Hong Kong On Screen isn't some crazy project that dates back 2 decades ago or something. It's a very out of the blue idea. It's a very new, fresh thing. So they just immediately organized it, and they immediately organized the screening of Revolution of Our Times, and there's a bunch of staff people, but that's mostly it. None of them know how to organize and program a film festival. Nobody really knows. So it's still a very fresh, new, young organization. And so they need young blood. They need new ideas. They need new people who can artistically and creatively contribute. So they somehow gathered 10 or maybe more, but as much as possible, they somehow gathered a bunch of young people, young adults, ranging from 19 to late 20s, all across Los Angeles, all come together, secretly meet in one house at one random night in one random city, and launch this Hong Kong on-screen thing where we all contribute to Hong Kong culture and try to organize a film festival in LA. And it's so, like, even though it's not like an out of the world insane thing, but to me it is. I feel like X-Men. This is literally X-Men. Hong is like Professor X, and we're all like X-Men. we're all X-Men. We're X-Men. But instead of like mutants fighting villains, we just want to make movies. The 10th person joined in, a white guy with kind of a Korean hairstyle, glasses. Not white guy, white shirt guy. And he is a production designer. So we have a couple people. Okay, so the wife mainly does the distributing. The husband is majors in film scoring. There's a guitarist. There's a theater lighting department. It's all like coming together. But 10 of us dimmed. The room lights are dimmed. Yeah. Anyways, lights are dimmed, and Hong showed us a PowerPoint, a Google slide sheet of Google Slides of like what's Hong Kong on screen, what are they planning, and it does get a little boring at a few points because this is really very much about film festivals, and even the people organizing it right now doesn't really have a clue what are they trying to do. And so the e-ciggy, the guy with the e-cigarette, he seems to be the oldest one here, and he's the one who acts the most bossy. He always raises questions. He always questions Hong, like, okay, so what are your intentions? So he is the bossy one. And then we have John L., who is the intellect. He is the intellect of the team, you know. He's kind of quiet, but every time he speaks with like a lot of experience. Like he knows a lot about, you know, distribution, film festivals, programming in film festivals, how films work, the whole production side of things, and he knows a lot of films. Like even during dinner, I and John L started to talk because I don't want the situation to be awkward, so I started to speak to him like, oh, so he told me that he wants to write romance. Romance is kind of his thing, and he can try anything else, but it all somehow wound up back to romance. And he asked me what I want to do, and I said, you know, thrillers, dramas. And he asked me what kind, and I said, oh, psychological thrillers or political thrillers. And then we continued talking, and he said, oh, you know, you should study other stuff as well, like political science. And I told him, oh, I actually really love anthropology, and I'm interested in making period pieces as well. And then we started talking about Hou Xiaoxian. We started talking about horror films at some point. You know, we talked about Kurosawa Kiyoshi. We talked about Pichapong. And I'm surprised that 99% of the conversation, I get the reference. I get what movie they're talking about. I get what director they're talking about. Given that I only started caring about Hong Kong films in 2019, I'm doing a pretty good job. But there are still a few moments when when they say something and I just like nod and smile and I don't really know what they're saying. But for the most part, I do know, and that's really cool. So the taller Macanese guy, he's like, oh, my favorite Wong Kar-wai is Fallen Angels. And I said, oh, Fallen Angels. And he's like, oh, you love Fallen Angels too? And I'm like, yeah. So, you know, that's that. So there's a Telegram group chat for this group. Very exciting, and I've never used Telegram before in my whole life. Not a Hong Konger confirmed. Because a lot of people use Telegram during the 2019 protests because you get a lot of info from it, but I don't, for some reason. Now that Telegram is banned in Hong Kong, you know, but there's a Telegram group, so I downloaded Telegram and I got into the group chat. And I also used this opportunity to start asking people for their Instagram accounts. So I went to the Macanese duo and asked them. I went to the theater girl and asked her, and then there's the production designer guy, you know, and that's really nice. The theater girl didn't follow back, but aside from that, I gained 3 followers, so that's cool. And I kind of want to like tell Pepper, like if we had private time together, I kind of wanted to tell her like, damn, like I'm so proud of myself for being able to do that, and sort of somehow string that into, you know, oh, actually back in April, you know, I got mad and upset because of this, because of that, but I never got to tell her this. So, the host Hong was actually like, oh, so where do you two live? And Pepper said, Koreatown. And I said, Sawtell. And both of these places are extremely far away from Pasadena. So Hong said, you know what? I can drive you two. And at first, Pepper's like, nah, that's not necessary. We can just take an Uber. And Hong's like, nah, I want to, you know, I like a late night drive. So at the end, he decided to drive us both, except John L also lives very far away, somewhere near Koreatown as well. So the final solution is that Pepper and John L will be taking the Uber ride together, and they will share the fee, while Hong will drive me alone back home. So that's that. So at the very end, we left the house and it was already like 10:30 p.m. and it's super late. And I just quickly asked Pepper, like, okay, this is something I've been wanting to ask Pepper for like a week. So if I want to follow Aika on Instagram and have her follow me back, should I just follow her and then like I asked Pepper, should I just follow her? And Pepper's like, yeah. And I said, well, what if she thinks I'm a stalker, you know, like what about that? And Pepper said, well, you can just DM her and tell her who you are. So, okay, apparently that works. And then John L was there. I didn't intend John L to be there, but at this point, I can't escape it. Like, I just want more private moment. I just want more private time with Pepper so that I can explain to her everything. But John L was there, and John L heard me, and John L said, I think that's a little forward. Maybe that's a little too forward. And Pepper's like, really? And John L said, well, yeah, it depends on how many followers they have. So Aika has 150 something followers. So one follower makes a huge difference. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to some guy's house in some city I've never been to with Pepper, whom I'm not that close with, because of John L., who I'm not that close with, meeting like 9 other strangers. And we are forming an organization. And we're not even like together because of a cause or something. Like we're all together, we're all very loosely stringed. Like it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend kind of situation. You know, I'm here because of John L. Pepper's here because of me. Like, it's just a very, like, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is, you know how you enter an organization and you feel like you're in it? It's basically that, except the organization is in its new stage, so I feel like I'm witnessing the founding of something great. And I'm there. I'm one of the prime 10, okay? I'm in one of the prime 10. It's amazing. It's like, this is like, I'm in it. I don't feel missed out. Like, you know how I look at Instagram and it's like, oh wow, you know, wow, JT is meeting a bunch of random people and it's like, holy crap, like, you know, like, what's she up to? And like, Natalie's meeting a bunch of people and she's probably living a very interesting life right now, and she's meeting all sorts of people she doesn't know, and you know, and even Leo has, you know, this theater play thing because of his hall in Hong Kong U, and like their world is so much bigger and they're in something. They're really in something. And now I'm in something. And even though I haven't made any close friends there yet, so level 2 is not really complete, but this is just next level shit. I'm in something. I'm included in something. Back in the Hong Kong days when Potato Gang hang out and have karaoke and Tofu Gang have hot pot dinners, I just look from afar. Now, we are organizing a secret, not really secret, but I call it secret because it's cool, but a film organization in LA of Hong Kongers. Something new, something fresh, something revolutionary, something huge, something important. And I'm there, the prime 10. And I'm fucking there. There's a photo and I'm in it. We didn't take a photo at the end, but like, Hong actually took a photo of me and Pepper, which is very funny. And a very good photo as well, like good composition, right? And I'm there. I'm in it. I'm in. I am in. This is history. This is next level, okay? I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. This is just history for me. This is like, I've never experienced something like this before. It's so, and I'm proud of myself because I've only lived in LA for 5.5 months and I've already reached this point. Like, I feel like I've caught up with JT. You know how JT's just climbing up this ladder of dance teams exponentially? Like, JT's just jumping from, you know, a dance team to another in UCLA, and then with celebrities, and then JT's like getting more and more famous. And JT's at the forefront of something now. I feel like I just randomly jumped from being a nobody, a lowly worm in May, and in June, I'm part of the prime 10. Just because I randomly decided to watch Lan Yu in USC and I randomly met a Hong Konger. Just because. Pure luck. And also, the theater girl only knew about HKOS because Hong himself went to some party held by USC, like some Hong Kongers party, and somehow he also knows a UCLA party, which then maybe somehow is connected to, or he knows the president of the HKSA of UCLA, which then in turn knows Jonah's friend. And I met him in the talent show. Like, it's all interconnected. And then the woman from the Pico Church, it's just unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is history in the making.